Superman finds out what it's like to bleed for the very first time, courtesy of jealous Snyderverse fans. Fortunately, our hero is rescued by his unruly canine, comprised of 2 whole brain cells. Krypto drags him into the comfort of ASMR in the form of a broken voicemail from his parents. The message babbles about inheriting the Kryptonian legacy and doing good, which is what motivates the main character to do what he does. After effectively reloading from the last checkpoint, Big Blue zips back into Metropolis only to get his ass handed to him for a second time by, unbeknownst to him, a Lex Luthor backseating this Hammer of Baravia character. Turns out it's just Ultraman in fancy plot armor, and Luthor Corp celebrates its long overdue victory over the Man of Steel. As Clark Kent fumbles his way into the Daily Planet, his parents are already on the phone congratulating him on making the front page. Meet Editor-in-Chief Perry White, Steve Lombard, Cat Grant, Superman's best pal Jimmy Olsen, and last but certainly not least, Lois Lane. Unlike certain tech billionaires who were practically gifted a position in government, Lex Luthor is once again rejected by the Pentagon. Should he ever get the green light to destroy the Kryptonian, there'd be nobody left to stop the war, and his company's weapons division would continue to reap the benefits from said conflict. Something that these people are smart enough to unravel because this isn't Congress. Lois and Clark later entertain their intrusive thoughts turned conversation, turned interview, turned argument, turned exposition. Superman had temporarily stopped a war between Baravia and Jarhanpur without considering what country his costume represents, nor the potential consequences. His justification is that the Baravian president, Vasil Gurkov, is a menace. But most importantly, people were going to die. Superman overlooked locking his door, which is how Luthor sneaks inside to film a reboot of MTV Cribs. Ultraman is not a nice person, and the engineer pulls this goofy move instead of, well, just turning around like a normal person. The villains manage to recover the missing half of Superman's voicemail, and Krypto finds himself dognapped. Where is Superman, you ask? Why, thank you for asking. Occupied with Godzilla. You would think that with a kaiju making Burger King foot lettuce out of Metropolis, that these people would have evacuated yesterday. But I suppose this is where Metropolis gets its nickname, the capital of empty-headed peanut brains. At any rate, the Justice Gang, consisting of Jerk Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific, steps in to upstage the main character. Normally, this would be a cause for celebration if it weren't for the revelation that Superman just got cancelled by ABC. Apparently, the last son of Krypton is here to enslave humanity and steal your women. Gurkov also finds himself riding on the Superman hate train before a portal brings him to celebrate alongside, you guessed it, Lex Luthor. Moments later, the alien shatters his door, demanding to know what the final boss has done to Krypto. But all he gets out of that little interaction is a Peacemaker cameo. Clark just about gives up when he gets a visit from his partner who downvotes his Spotify playlist. Regardless of whatever is going around, she still believes in the kindness of his heart and gives him a vote of confidence. Superman proceeds to surrender himself, hoping Argus will take him to wherever Krypto is being held. Lo and behold, the Luthor Corp CEO traps him inside a pocket universe to play 20 questions. In the wake of Superman's absence, Jimmy's source decides to meet. Turns out it's none other than Lex's girlfriend, Eve Tessmacher. Not only does she reveal his pocket universe ordeal, she's also thirsting harder than the people of Arrakis for Mr. Olsen. As for Lois, she recruits 1/3 of the hall monitors to try and salvage her situationship. Metamorpho eventually comes to his senses by enlisting the help of Superman to rescue his kid. After a field trip inside an anti-proton river and nearly getting sucked into a black hole, Terrific's little circles bring them home. Clark recovers from kryptonite poisoning almost immediately and receives a pep talk from his old man borrowed straight from the script of Batman Begins. It's not who you are underneath, but what you do that defines you. Lex Luthor isn't as smart as he thinks because his portals, if sustained for long enough, have a non-zero chance of tearing the world apart. Nonetheless, he's desperately craving Superman's attention and proceeds to reopen said portal. At the same time, Jarhanpur cries out for Superman as Baravia begins its invasion. Thanks to an unhealthy selfie addiction, Lois and Jimmy discover the full extent of Luthor's evil plans. Real estate. He cut a deal with Gurkov to split Jarhanpur once it's taken over. Perry then assembles the Daily Planet to head out and do what? I do not know. The main character cannot exist in two places at once, but Luthor's lackeys decide for him. He's unsuccessful in trying to talk her out of evil like a CW show, and you know the final boss is a complete nutjob when he choreographs a move just to stomp on Superman's best friends. The engineer is eventually unengineered, and Ultraman is revealed as a Temu Superman, but with quite literally an empty-headed peanut brain. While turning Superman into mashed potatoes, Luthor delivers a long and boring speech about how he came pre-installed with envy, which is what has driven him to destroy his arch-nemesis. Suddenly, Krypto returns like an unskippable YouTube ad, and without a line of sight to backseat Ultraman like a Street Fighter character, Superman completes the QuickTime event and throws him into a black hole. So, how long until he returns with a GED and a crime syndicate starter pack? Furthermore, the evil CEO soils his trousers due to a psycho dog until great journalism from the Daily Planet exposes him to the world as a traitor. While he performs face muscle exercises, the Justice Gang and its newest recruit have it all under control in Jarhanpur. Gurkov even elects to go skydiving sans parachute. Mr. Terrific shuts down the rift, Lex goes to prison, everybody lives happily ever after, and here is a first look at the women of tomorrow. That was the story of James Gunn's Superman. Make of this what you will, I'm just a messenger.